Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. I'm Paul McCarthy, and today I'm joined by Michael Ziadie-Campbell from Roots Bar. Michael, it's great to have you with us today. Could you just start off by telling us a bit about your business, please?
Hi guys. Well, my business is a cocktail bar. We specialize more in cocktails. We also do beers, bottled beers, pints, wine. We're actually going to start a bit of food soon, so that's a little addition that we're going to go into, especially in winter, because like on the winter seasons, being a bit more on the seafront, it's a little bit more dead with the wind and the rain. People tend not to come down. And then, but mostly we do specialize in cocktails and seasonal as well. So at the moment, we've got a summer cocktail on. It's made with raspberry puree, pink lemonade, a bit of lemon juice, and we're using gin with it.
And you're based in Worthing, aren't you? Right on Worthing Seafront, right? Really
Yes.
central. Yeah.
Right next to the pier as well. So that's really a good location to attract people. And one of the best things we've got is that when we're on the terrace, it's absolutely beautiful because you've got a dead line of the sea right in front. So it's really beautiful. And we've just redone our terrace as well. A few little bits and bobs to finish off, of course. But from there, like it's really looking really nice now for the outside.
Fantastic. And tell me why you started the business. Tell me your background and how it came about.
So basically, just thanks to school, really, let's say, because I was just like doing my education, learning music production and sound engineering, and with that, I wanted to start earning a bit of money as well, so I could like go out, buy my own things and stuff like that. So I started working in just a little restaurant. Started as a runner, and that first one, let's say, it didn't really go well, not because of the like how it works or anything. It's just like one day I got back and they didn't know who I was because I went on holiday and I came back and they changed two managers and it was like I basically didn't exist in the company. So it was really weird. So I found another one after that, and from there they took me on as a waiter. Was there for quite a long time, like 4 or 5 years. So in that 4 or 5 years, I got pushed to be the supervisor. And then at the end of my last 2 years, I got pushed to be the assistant manager and as well for helping out on their second branch. So that was really nice. And it just got to like more, let's say, like they're giving you more, so you want to do more. And more you do, to be honest, the funner it is because I believe like more you work, your day goes faster as well. And you can literally push in. Sorry, that didn't actually really make sense, the last bit. But so wait, where was I?
It's all right. We can edit out this bit. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I know, don't worry. This I know about this. Because my mom does also YouTube videos, so I know like and then you just restart
You
it
just need to
for
sit still. Yeah.
exactly. So
So
yeah,
just to recap. So the questions about why you started the business, how it came about.
so yeah, we can even restart. So basically we restart so why I started this business is that I worked in hospitality for quite a long time. And then I just enjoyed it. And also by what's great about it, being behind the bar, especially when we were doing cocktails and stuff like that, is like you're always meeting someone different and you've always got someone to talk to. And again, this is where I come back to a little bit before, it's like it makes your day go faster. And if you enjoy what you're doing, mixing cocktails and that pleases sorry, and that pleases people, it's going you're going to have a good day out of that, and making people happy is a good thing, to be honest. And sometimes even alcohol, if you're drinking you get a bit tipsy, people tend to be happy, and then you're just having a good time serving such a large amount of people, and it's really fun.
So a cocktail bar. Well, why did you choose a cocktail bar over a normal bar or restaurant? 'Cause it sounds like you were doing quite a lot of work in restaurants.
Oh yeah, more in restaurants and behind the bar, like quite a lot. But that's where it was when I was behind the bar. I was at my happy place. I actually started pushing myself more behind the bar, and then actually going up to people, waiting them, serving them food, because I felt like while you're making the drinks, and then you're serving it to the person, if it's a stand-up bar or sit-down bar, because we do ours is a bit of both. You can come up to the bar, get your drink, or vice versa. If you sat down, we'll come up to you and we'll take your order. But a lot of people come up and order, and some people just stay at the bar, have a drink. And so I was enjoying that and mixing drinks and talking to them about them. And some people also like some history as well. You find out some stuff and they tell you history about cocktails that you might not have known. And I think it's absolutely fun, to be honest.
So you're the classic case of you started a business because you wanted to do something that you like doing, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And to be honest, like in a part, it is tough, especially at the moment coming out of COVID. But I didn't find it that tough coming out of COVID. I thought people actually wanted to come out because they've been in home so long and they were like, finally, we can go out again and have a drink and go and party. And then I think it's me personally, it's seeing like it's gone down just a little bit. It's not the worst. It is bad, but it's not the worst. It's just, I think it's because of this electricity bill situation that's scared a lot of people. And of course, they have to spend a bit more money. And that's what's put them out to come drinking more because they drink, let's say, they'll come out and have a drink, but I think it's more later on now than let's go out at 5 p.m. and start drinking and be out all night. Let's come out more like 8, 9 and then we have a few drinks and then we can go out.
So they're condensing their evening. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there are other bars and places that do cocktails in Worthing. What's different about you? What do you do different? What's your secret sauce?
I think first is location. We found a great location. Second is we use fresh ingredients. We try and use as much possible fresh ingredients as possible, like squeezing lemons, limes. We use a strawberry. Sorry, let me say it. So what makes us different is basically the location, I think, because we're right on the seafront. We've got a beautiful view of the sea. And then second, we use fresh ingredients. So we go around squeezing out limes, out lemons. We also dehydrate our fruit and we do that in-house. So we use strawberries, apples, pineapple, limes and lemons again for just garnishing because we also wanted to try and do as little wastage as possible. And by instead of cutting up fresh fruit and leaving it hoping that somebody might need it or a cocktail might need it, well, by dehydrating it, we've got that extension of 6 months of just having dried fruit and just using it. But it does go quite quickly. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, so and then the other thing I say, we've gone for a little bit of an old style, like a little bit like you see behind me. It's a little bit more old. My mum's always had like old houses and stuff like that, and she's a historian, so she likes old antique stuff. So I think I've always had a little bit of that in me. So we went for a really nice English green, racing green actually. Interior with sofas and chairs, and then we've just kept it nice and simple with white walls for the moment, but we're looking into changing a little bit more because when we bought the place it was black and we wanted to get rid of the black, so we went white and we've hung up a few paintings like we've got behind, and we've gone for a little bit of like that old school, but it also accommodates anyone because it in the day it's more like this here, it's nice and bright, and then in the in night, like everybody likes when you've gone out for a drink or a cocktail, what do? You like to have a little dim place. You either like to go a bit crazy and have a few shots and drink because you're going to the next place, or you like to be like chilled and have a nice drink and talk to your friends. And what's great about that is the darkness. You like to be in that sort of little bit of dark, don't you? And you enjoy yourself.
Brilliant. And has there been a particular person that's inspired you along your journey?
Well, not really, to be honest. I would just say my mom's mostly just pushed me always to work hard and do a lot of stuff by myself. And I think that's really been helpful because you have to, there's not really anyone that's going to help you. So if you don't do it yourself, you might not have what you want. And like she's helped me out a lot. And then she's also let me do a lot and she's made it go my way because she knows that if you've got a direction, follow it and keep to it. So that's what we're doing.
Brilliant. And your biggest learning since starting your own business, what's the biggest thing that you would say that you've learned over this time having the bar?
Staff, man. It's hard to get staff sometimes. I've been in this industry for quite a long time, and it's not about being a bad staff or if something's happened. It's about like we move on a lot in hospitality. We like it a bit here, and we have a few months there, and then we jump onto a next place. Or because I've moved down there, you go to find somewhere closer to probably work. So you tend to go through quite a lot of stuff.
Right.
But when you worked for somebody, you were like, we just got a newbie in, it's fine, we'd have to learn in the ropes. But actually, when you're actually like the owner and sort of a bit of the managing as well, you have to find this person. You have to you have to hope that they stay on and they like working there, because they might not just like working there in the first 2-3 days they do the trial, and that's understandable. You have to find the person that fits the job as well.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And looking at sort of your industry, not just your bar in particular, what would you say are going to be the sort of challenges over the next 5 years?
I think like one of the challenges, to be honest, is like Worthing's not like the biggest town, and I feel like we've got a lot going on, and it's like I call it like the little mini Brighton, because people are coming. It's quite quiet, but people are coming in. So one of the challenges I think is like bringing in people, because like again, it's on the seafront. So in winter, it was one of the biggest challenges. So I think what we've got on the seafront, because I'm not the only one, of course, we've got a few bars next door as well, is trying to bring that people in on the seafront, instead of having them in like in town where you don't have the wind and it's not rainy, and then you can go on the place that's more covered. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges, to be honest. But to bring in, but I think like I was saying the other day to someone, it's like, if you just keep on going and pushing, because we do a few deals. So like on Tuesday, we do a 2 for Tuesday. So it's buy one, get one free on cocktails all day. And don't get me wrong, people love a deal. And that has also started pulling in people. On Wednesdays, we do a ladies' day. Well, we call it ladies' night because it's more attractive, but it's ladies' day. So basically, ladies can come like on a date. A gentleman can come in with his girlfriend on a date. He pays his pint, £4, and he will get her maybe a gin and tonic, and that will be £6 roughly, £6-7, and she'll get a discount of 50% off. So it's a great marketing strategy of trying to be like, hey, dudes, bring your girlfriend out on a date. It's actually a cheap date because you're paying your price, but you're also not.
By the sound of that.
Imagine a Moretti. We take a Moretti beer for £5. So if a lady wanted one, it's £2.50 for a pint that day. So it's actually really good money for somebody to come out. And then we do another deal on Thursdays where it's Thirsty Thursday. So it's basically where all our double spirits, we do it for a price of a single. And I've always learned in hospitality, the more the people go out is where they get the deals.
So something you said quite early on there about Worthing itself, do you think the demographic of Worthing's changing over the last year? Because traditionally it had a very old age sort of feel to it.
Oh, absolutely, it does. When I came down 3 years ago because of COVID, didn't really know anyone. Everything was sort of closed down, and then everything started opening up again. And I was starting to go out. I found the first little job down here as a bartender as well, actually on a roof terrace. That was absolutely amazing and really fun to start off down here. And you saw like the difference of the generation of people. So like looking at that, that's why we built the way we built our bar. We didn't want to build it for people that are too young, because there are young people, but young people tend to move a lot. Let's go to Brighton, let's go to China, let's go even to London. There's a train that takes you up an hour and a half. So why not? It's where more of an elderly generation tend to like, oh, get their friends around for dinner. Let's go out for some cocktails. They'll probably stick around. So you had to think about when you design the place that you had to accommodate the young ones and the older generation.
Okay. And next 5 years, what are your aspirations?
Just to hope that it gets a lot bigger. And like, to be honest, if it does, like I said, we're starting food, but we're not allowed to have a full-on restaurant. And me personally, like we were saying at the beginning, I've worked in a lot more restaurant bars. So I've always had that restaurant feeling. So it would be great to go into something with food as well. more down the line.
Okay. So is it, are we talking multiple establishments or a bigger
Yeah,
version of what you've got?
it
Yeah.
would be, well, I would like to keep the one that we've got on the seafront if we
Yeah.
could, personally, because location again is great. And then if we could get something, and this is the Roots cocktail bar, why not Roots restaurants, and go a little bit further.
Okay. Brilliant.
And
Oh, sorry.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say, I love street food, so maybe we'd start off with something small and go with something a little bit more street food than full on restaurants, like a lot of people do when they start up with restaurants. It's a lot funner as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. And let's we looked forward. Let's look back a bit. So if you could have your time again with the business, is there anything you'd do differently if you could start again?
If I had to restart this over again, I would probably not really. There's not actually that much I would change. Um, I would have probably have done the outside a little bit faster, but since we opened in winter, it was a bit of a tough one, and I didn't want to like ruin the outside to make people be like, oh, that looks like it's closed or something, especially it's darker in England during the winter time. So I think like if I could have fit that in before we fully opened, that would have been nice. And yeah, I think that's about it, because like I'm really happy with it, to be
Well,
honest.
it's going to plan. That's fantastic. Usually we learn from our mistakes, but it doesn't sound like you're making any at the moment, which is great.
Well, it's not really mistakes like we've made. It's more like we're still like you still learn every day. There's always something that comes up, and you're like, oh, that's actually a really good idea. We could probably start something like that, or let's increase this and do that. Let's take that away and do that. Like just on stock, we started off with a certain alcohol of stock, and there's one bottle that we've never sold. So instead of like getting rid of it, well, we were saying like I like iced tea, so and English people actually love tea, so we were thinking about maybe looking into using this whiskey and making a whiskey iced tea with it to just set it off and not just waste it.
Okay. Um, and if you could give some advice to your 18-year-old self, it'd be,
uh,
oh, right, okay.
I had to give myself well, it's a little bit, well, if I had to, I would say go back to England. I should have gone back to England sooner because I used to live in France.
Okay.
I grew up in France, and then I basically wanted to move on because I felt like it was holding me a bit back, France. So I was like, let me go back to England. And I moved back to England when I was roughly 19, 20. So if I would say, I would have said maybe at 18, I should have gone back when I'd finished everything.
Right. Did you feel like you wanted, was something holding you back from going when you were 18?
Yeah, well, I felt like, like after, like when you're a kid, you like having fun and you're going to school and everything's fun. And I started feeling like I was going to be like a bit lazy when I've always not, well, everybody's a bit lazy, but like I was going more into the laziness and not wanting to work when I actually do enjoy working.
Yeah, got you. Okay, and new projects. Is there anything you're working on at the moment? Anything you'd like to elaborate on?
At the moment, well, what we're doing is the food side, really, bringing in more food because I've realized basically between a certain hour, people tend to go and eat, and that's tend to where we're a little bit less on the people side. And we've had people go out and eat and come back, and because they were like, we're really enjoying it here. You've got a great deal as well, so they've come back, of course. But it would be nice to, that's why we're going on to this food side, is to keep them there so they don't have to leave to come back.
What sort of food are you planning on doing?
So at the moment, because mom's Jamaican, so we were thinking of something very simple because you can just have it in the oven, cook it up, and then you can put it in a food warmer. So we were thinking about patties to start off with.
Lovely.
Yes, I mean, like, yes. So I've got like a few, and my brother lives in Cyprus, so he's just come back for mum's birthday, and we actually just had a few of them, and we were all trying them. And it's I actually hadn't had a patty since I've been down in Worthing, I think. So I moved back down here 3 years ago, and I just missed them, to be honest. And so we were just trying them out, cooking them up to get the right temperature. But then I looked at my brother, I was like, we can do all of this, Dima. I love doing this with you, but I've bought a special oven that will be for the bar, of course. And I will have to do all of that again with that oven, because every oven's different because of size of cooking. So I have to make sure that I get the right perfect cook, of course, with that oven.
Brilliant. Okay, sounds great. If people want to get in contact with you, Michael, how can they do that?
We've got a website, roots.co.uk. We've also got an Instagram that we put under roots_worthing. We've got the Facebook, just Roots Worthing as well. So basically, if you've ever really wanted to find us, just type in Roots Worthing and you will find us.
Fantastic. Michael, it's been brilliant to have you today. Thank you so much for your time and thanks for your story. It's been really, really entertaining. And have a great rest of your week, and also all the best for the future.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell my little story.
Great. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Bye.